Hey now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and Stranger Things. I finally watched it. I know it's been a little while now, and plenty of people have seen it. They probably saw it the first day it came out, 4th of July. But I've watched it, and not only that, but I took my time watching it. I've been deciding to not just binge watch something all in one day, 2 days. I've watched an episode per day to really soak it in and to let things linger and to savor this. This was only 8 episodes long, and man, I think it left me wanting more. I really enjoyed season 3 of Stranger Things. I know some people were, I don't want to say down on season 2, but they didn't love it as much as season 1. But I think season 3 came back. I think season 3 made us care so much about these characters again, made us fall back in love with so many of the kids, and the main plot made us care about them and the dangers it raised, the stakes. Let's talk about the beginning. These kids are, in fact, getting older. We can't hide it. As much as we love them at that young age that they were, and you saw how innocent that they were, and how it was pretty humorous to see kids that young swear and do things that they weren't supposed to do. They're older now. They're teenagers, and seeing characters like Mike and Eleven making out all the time and seriously dating, like, this was something. This was something to see these kids be mature as they were. A character like Will, who I felt so bad for because all he wanted to do was just sit around and continue to play Dungeons and Dragons, because that's something that him and his friends did all the time. But now they don't do it as much. And there's a moment when him and Mike get into I don't want to say an argument, but Will gets more upset because nobody's playing with him. And Mike just says, "Look, dude, what did you think? That we were just going to play this game for the rest of our lives and stay in my basement? And it's not our fault that you don't like girls." And I heard that and I thought to myself, are they trying to say that Will is gay? Or is it because of what did happen to him? He was trapped in the Upside Down. He was possessed for most of season 2. That maybe he has missed out on so much of his childhood from going through all of this crap, that he's still in a mindset. He's in an immature mindset where he hasn't progressed to the level where everyone else is at around him. Or maybe he is just gay, but the show didn't really want to address it or beat you over the head with that because there's so much else going on. And let's talk about the main crux of the story. This is spoilers. The show has been out long enough. Like I said, I took my time, and so I feel comfortable now at this point giving spoilers. Billy gets possessed and practically becomes the main villain of this season, and I like that. I mean, this actor, first saw him in the Power Rangers reboot from 2017, and he was fine as the Red Ranger, but seeing him last season and him being just the a-hole bully brother to Max, he was a horrible, horrible person. But then they had that brief moment with his father who just tore him a new one. And I felt a little bad for him, or at least I understood that there was a lot more going on to him and his backstory. And this season, it's like they gave me a character that I hated so much last season and then made me feel for him in this season. There was a couple moments where Eleven was able to go into his memories and see visions of his mom and how he used to be a sweet, innocent kid until his father beat his mom, until his mom was just gone out of his life. And so that's where you see the resentment that he had towards Max and had towards the new wife, and just how angry he was seemingly at the world. And to see those flashes of him being innocent underneath him being evil because he's possessed and doing all of these things that he's doing, very messed up and such a tragic character. Seeing whatever Billy was possessed by, I mean, it's the same creature that possessed Will in season 2, but it's now up the ante. This creature is now angry, and it has a personal vendetta against Eleven because it remembers that Eleven closed the gate And so now it figures, well, first things first, I'm going to build an army of possessed people and have this army strictly to take 11 out. Like, she's become public enemy number one. I'm going to go after her because she's the only thing that can stop me or come close to posing a threat. And that was fascinating. You made this more personal. I think 11, Millie Bobby Brown, she was already a favorite just from season 1 and her tragic backstory, but seeing how she has those vulnerable, innocent moments here and there, but when she has to step up, when she does use her powers, when she does go up against a creature, and there's moments where she's using her telekinesis and throwing a creature around the room, into the walls and the ceilings, out the window. There's a moment towards the end, spoilers, where the creature, the huge giant Cloverfield-looking monster creature, bursts through the roof, and she, with her powers, rips its head in half. It's badass! There's so many moments with 11 where she comes off so badass. The actress pulls it off so well. I really enjoyed the actiony moments and the special effects moments. I thought the creatures looked great. This new creature that we're seeing, it's not a Demogorgon. You can't really explain how it looks. I'm sure if you saw the trailer, they show that brief shot of it and just how grotesque looking it is. You get another side. There's a bunch of side plots, like 4 or 5 of them going on at the same time, and that's fine. It made these episodes go by and have a fast pace. Sheriff Hopper, of course, Hopper and Joyce, they have their own story. We're trying to figure out what these Russians are up to and how it's connected to maybe the Upside Down. Russians are trying to reopen the door to the Upside Down, so they have that conspiracy guy from season 2 that Jonathan and Nancy interacted with. Now they're with him. And they also have this Russian scientist that they kind of sort of kidnapped and they're getting intel from. And I can't believe how much I liked that Russian guy. I barely remember his name, but I just remembered him being like very comical, very amusing, especially the moments when you're constantly having to translate, and between the strawberry Slurpee moments or between just him and Hopper going back and forth, and then the sweet moment where I felt so bad that character died. Again, this show knows how to make me care about characters that previously I wouldn't think I'd have any connection to. There is a Terminator guy walking around. He's Russian. He's like an assassin. He looks exactly like Arnold Schwarzenegger from Terminator 1. I loved it. They had a score that accompanied him in every scene that he showed up in. Every time he met up with Hopper, he beat the holy hell out of him, and I felt bad for Hopper every single time. Also, seeing Steve and Dustin have their own plot where they're trying to figure out and decode the Russians and their phrase and what it all means, and they get wrapped up and caught up in it. Very much enjoyed Dustin and Steve as a duo. Steve, once again, I think I mentioned this last season, how season 1 he was such a prick. So unlikable in season 1, and I loved him in season 2. I loved him even more in season 3. And he gets paired up with Robin, who works at the same ice cream place that he does. And at first I thought she was just going to be a girl that Steve would fall for and end up with, almost like a consolation prize because he didn't end up with Nancy. But they made Robin her own character. She was interesting on her own, and I like that she just doesn't start dating him. She's a lesbian, so she's going to have her own thing going forward, and her and Steve are going to be friends. Lucas's sister, I want to mention her because season 2, everyone talked about how cute she was, how adorable she was, even though I thought she was an a-hole. I thought she was rude as hell, super annoying. But this part, she kept coming up to the ice cream and wanting free samples of ice cream, and so at first I thought, okay, we're going to deal with this annoying character again and again, but then I liked her. Then I did find her a lot more funny. She ended up helping with the group and partaking in some of the missions and tasks. Sure, she still was a little bitch, but she was involved more, so I was more okay with that. Billy dying as a hero, spoilers, I know, but his death, once again, didn't realize that it would affect me as much as it did, but it was handled very well. But a death that did affect me, and I still don't know how to feel about it. Sheriff Hopper indeed dies, or it seems like he dies. We don't see it, and I do think there's a reason why we don't see it. Maybe they wanted to play up his death in a way, so that's why we didn't see his body disintegrate when they closed the gate with the machine. We see the blast of the machine disintegrate the bodies of other soldiers or Russians down there. So we assume that that's what happened to Hopper as well. He just got eviscerated. But we didn't see it, so there was that doubt of either we're going to find out. I thought we were going to get a scene where we find out he's trapped in the Upside Down. And so next season we'll be trying to get him back. Or just somehow something happened. But once you got to Joyce adopting Eleven, them moving out, and they had the whole speech that he was going to give to Eleven, and they had them read it. Like, man, that felt like a death. And it sucked. It was sad. I damn near wanted to cry at his death because he was in my top 2 or 3 favorite characters on the show. And I loved his dynamic being Eleven's adopted father and how much responsibility he was taking up with that, wanting to keep Mike away from her. Like, all that was great. Any other actor, I would have thought he was just an a-hole, horrible person, but I understood why he was being so overprotective because the actor sold it so well. As much as he's yelling at Joyce and getting so mad at her because, yeah, she stood him up. Once again, great actor, David Harbour, so I was with him, or I liked seeing him get angry because of just how good he was at being so reactive. And the thought of him not being a part of the show anymore going forward, I mean, I don't know if we're getting a season 4. I assume we are because of how popular this damn show is. But man, that would suck. Hopper not being on this show would suck hard. My only solace of if he does come back, there is an after credit scene. I don't know if people stuck around for it because I almost didn't, but you get a scene of them in Russia, and there is a Demogorgon in Russia. They're feeding prisoners to it, so you know that Russia, I guess, has opened up a portal from their end, and who knows, right? And there's a moment when, before they grab the prisoner that they grab, they were going to go into another room, and one of the guys says, no, don't grab the American, grab this guy. And I thought to myself, well, who the hell is the American? Are we not going to address this? Are we just going to pretend like that wasn't said just now? Because I can't pretend. Is there any way that it's Hopper? That, again, I don't know how he would have gotten from where he was to there. But maybe they will pull some shenanigans like that. And will people accept that? Should we just go along with him being dead because, hey, you gave me this sad and emotional moment. I know that there's some people who this death almost ruined the whole season for you. Overall, though, I really enjoyed this season. I enjoyed these characters. I enjoyed the dynamics. I enjoy seeing them get older and seeing where they progress next. The friends maturing and maybe branching off. Seeing Eleven, Millie Bobby Brown, grow as an actress. I'm fascinated with her character and what they're going to do with her. And what would season 4 look like if we got that? Let me know in the comments below. What did you think of this season? Did you like it? Did you love it? Spoiler talk. We'll talk about whatever the hell you want. Any scene, any season. How creepy and gross it was whenever those people got possessed. And then especially the moment where they all melted down and molded back. And it's just gross stuff here. Did you like the 80s stuff? Did you like the nostalgia? I did. I love the mall opening up. I love Carrie Elways as the mayor. So much that I've left out, but I didn't want to go too long on this. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!
Absolutely.